Hi creatives, it's Claire from Writing Arts, and in this video we're going to take a look at the second part of the series of using business blueprints or operating documents to make your business better. So last week we started this series by looking at why they're important. Remember, they save you time, they save you energy, and they save your sanity. And then what might be the first part of your finance blueprint would be the what, or the checklist of the things you need to do. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I would recommend going and checking it out. I will include a link to it in the description for the video. But in the second part, this week of a document, we're going to look at the how to section. So the instructions or the guide of the finance things that need to happen. So it covers both the most frequent things and some of the more confusing things. And sometimes I may have a step-by-step. And other times I may just have a high level overview of what needs to happen with a few tips thrown in there of things I need to remember. Now, what I want to stress most before we get into that how section of some of my examples for you is that this document isn't a static thing. It should be added to, it should be updated pretty much every time you do your bookkeeping. So firstly, you're going to learn things as you go, because we often can't foresee what is going to come up. And when the problem isn't right in front of us, it tends not to be urgent or important. The second thing, approaching it this way, it reduces the overwhelm of having to create a document that has every single thing in it. Instead, my recommendation is to start with the things you're already doing, the things you know you'll need to remember, and then build on your document over time with regular reviews of it. Because be mindful, when you add to the document, you may need to shuffle a few sections to bring, the like with the like, where you were writing about invoicing on page 3 and then you're writing about invoicing on page 5. Probably going to want to bring those sections together. You may want to add some information, you may want to expand something that you forgot to do last time you did your bookkeeping. So finally, thinking about these documents or business blueprints as that continual work in progress will really give us that mindset of never needing to be done and never needing to be perfect, because it's a working document. It is always going to be in draft. So let's move on to the how section that should be in your business blueprint for finances. Specifically, we're talking about bookkeeping. And for me, that is the first thing I love to cover is financial information on other platforms. So accessing my data on other platforms is a huge section, because when you have it clearly written out in front of you, how you can access your sales information from so many different places that we use in our business. So maybe there's Etsy, there's Shopify, there's WooCommerce, you might have Made It, you might have Eventbrite, PayPal, Square, Stripe, and all the places that you are receiving either sales or fees or making generating income. You need to be accessing that information. So having all those instructions right there in front of you, for me, is a huge time saver, because I can't remember the difference between where it is in PayPal and where it is in Square. I want that to be right in front of me so I never have to think about it. And I really tend to have these as that step-by-step instruction, followed by exactly what to do with the information once I've collected it. So that's both the how, so how I have to process that in my bookkeeping software, and the where. Where am I saving this in my digital filing? So for example, the first part of Etsy data, it says to me in my document, go to Etsy, go to settings, go to options, go to download data. Then I know I need to pick up the orders CSV for the month, and then I total the order value column and the shipping column, literally giving me step by step exactly what I need to do, so I don't have to remember the difference between order total and order value, shipping and shipping discount. And I may even add some notes in there about the different reports that are available. So in the download data on Etsy, for example, I might have a note that tells me the difference between the reports, order items, orders, Etsy payment sales, and Etsy payment deposits, because once I've found out that information, it doesn't make sense for me to have to figure that out again next time I want to access slightly different information. The second major section I include in my how part is the infrequent items that I do. So I really love to include these because they're things I don't do on a regular basis. So I wouldn't write instructions, for example, on how to do invoices because I do invoices every week. So that really is front of mind always for me, and I don't have to have instructions on how to do that. But maybe applying a partial payment of an invoice or dealing with a deposit when it doesn't have GST but the total sales invoice does are things I wouldn't do regularly. But once I've learned how to do them once, rather than having to relearn it each time that comes up, I simply just write it down in the document. I also tend in this section to cover off things that have confused me or I have processed incorrectly in the past. So this covers off things like what to do with currency conversions in PayPal, because if you have a deposit in US dollars that you then withdraw from your PayPal account, it firstly converts that into Australian dollars, and how to deal with that confused me, and I had to dig into it, figure out what was happening, and then I made notes on that so I wouldn't have to ever figure that out again. Things like how to account for my home office deductions or my personal car mileage, because they're not necessarily transactions in the bank account, they're not necessarily cash transactions, but they are a business expense. So how exactly I record that is written for me in my how section of my business blueprint. Now, those are things in my business blueprint, and the thing I want to end this video on is your business blueprint is entirely custom to your business. The issues and challenges and even the transactions you'll come across will be different to those transactions, challenges, issues that my business faces. The things you learn and the things your business buddies learn will be different. The things you'll find easy, straightforward, and even logical will honestly baffle other people. So your business blueprint is your individual guide to save you time, to save you searching, to save you racking your brains because you're sure you've done this before. Write it down, keep it handy, and my real number one tip for this is open it every time you start doing something with your bookkeeping or your business finances. If this video has been useful, I would love you to give me a thumbs up or a comment. You can always subscribe as well to receive more from me and notifications if you want from when videos go live. I'll see you next week.